Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Convict Wontumi. And Chairman Wontumi. Law court catch say omra no be the defense. Or ye wagadre azan on peso beye. Eye the attorney general the na asem nyina egu table so. In some of the two Chairman Wontumi so nyina waka ni nyina de witnesses nyina aba. Ye say Chairman Wontumi be you one no say asem attorney general king oboa na omwa. First one Chairman Wontumi call say on tiasie na ebubu no say still bra no be you one the attorney general dey abeto table so e wo court na ordina dance for aba no be kiremu say adanse no boa the attorney general boa fa wo so ngina so bra Chairman Wontumi ye kokwasa one ne lawyers na onim and attorney general kokodo say Chairman Wontumi o senke na oba court na order the defense obe bie ni defense na so our witnesses are on for witnesses nimra na mo make say ampa the attorney general kan oboa ye na ye adanse for ma Chairman Wontumi asem we enya no kre no ebesi nne ende Chairman Wontumi bra court no wamba oba court a wamfa adanse amba ono so a wamba bie the defense and attorney general catch a judge not akonyum say judge chinitum because Chairman Wontumi e delay Ghana for time or say sika because today they went to court number so no resource sika etua judge no sika etua attorney general sika ye spend ye no ye taxpayers ni na etua attorney general say madam judge Mr. Judge akwano always see a time about 3 weeks ago and I catch say ombie ni case ever seen ne ontumi mie chinitum because eno na me catch out that nyina say my me case wie e me case nyina ngina so no say wabo Ghana kro no we di e bone chinitum now omo free court no and the judge ne say or my Chairman Wontumi to the 5th of May Chairman Wontumi mra embe bie the defense or else or the judgment beba now a PF free court no and a Chairman Wontumi lawyer unim the problem wuntie the problem.
That statement is very unfortunate. Indeed, it is prejudicial for the AG to have made that statement that the court should continue to convict the accused persons. It is very unfortunate, especially coming from the Attorney General who doubles as the Minister for Justice. He forgets that the justice system needs an Attorney General and a Minister of Justice who will preside over fair trials and fair decisions from the courts. But this, we have an Attorney General who is trying for the court to convict an accused person who has not even opened his defense. So it's a very unfortunate statement on the coming of an Attorney General who is in a hurry to seek conviction of somebody in criminal trial.
But it was born from the fact that the defense lawyers failed, for want of a better word, to file their defense as was directed or ordered by the court.
The defense lawyers did not file the witness statement as of choice, not we failed, because we have a process before the Court of Appeal whose determination will affect the procedure or the proceedings. So it is incumbent on us to take full advantage of opportunities available to us as defense lawyers in a criminal trial. And this is something that happens all the time, that if a decision comes from a lower court and you are dissatisfied with the decision, the opportunities are there for you to go up to a higher court, which is the Court of Appeal, to file the necessary process to seek justice. So we did everything allowed by law, and that we had opportunities. And don't forget that the Constitution has a provision that accused persons must be given adequate time, preparation, and even resources to be able to defend themselves when they are before a trial court. So the defense team, in their wisdom, decided that we have to file, repeat the application at the Court of Appeal, which we did. And having filed it, we thought that it was necessary for the court to stay until that application is heard in the Court of Appeal.
What did you organize? Jimmy Kakra. Ye court no ye busa e Chairman Wontumi lawyer. So lawyer. O client yi o se odibem. O me kire na asem a kire se odibem a. Adenti na nde Wontumi anya. O se o ono de ene yakra mpo say ye brofo be friend pre-judicial. Pre-judicial se kire say o se ontia se say and the attorney general na begina court ka che judge say ono de papa mu no nsem a odi abedu court ede ne nsem yegu table no so no ye nche Wontumi ntum so on TV da adenti na so attorney general ne kasa inti the court of appeal the all kan nyina no so on tiase na attorney general ne gina court no from day one no the entina na attorney general gina court we ya kwasea. Then what are you trying to say attorney general no he is not supposed to call for the conviction of Wontumi or say identity also attorney general no e ka kire court say Wontumi entumi bie the defense a yemfa Wontumi nkotum or say on tiase Ghana attorney general de nisan koye sa adentina attorney general tumi ka say yenche the client nintum na abuofunu oye attorney general oba court no say Wontumi ho fenti na oba court ara say bi Wontumi oye jimijimi a ne be ma hwe left ne na hwe left and ne ni hwe left ntina oba court na the attorney general is in court to convict Wontumi. The reason why the attorney general is in court every day with Chairman Wontumi is to make sure Wontumi is arrested, is convicted, is jailed, and then in the principle into our court. If today the attorney general is telling the judge, say, "Akwa Wontumi be the defense," Chinituma, appear could be the himself watchman now say, "I on tiasie." Now all kasano, na journalist for Musa say, na chairman o clienty, sebio also be the defense. Who said defense or ball la sule on person beye abi hu ono so defense ntina ama attorney general e ka kire court say yen chiri ntuma na o se da bi ade ne de ye wo case bi wo appeals court. In fact, time I can't Chairman Wontumi MBA the defense no. Judge no ti case no so ka say ampa MBA no. Chairman Wontumi ni apeku be so mo nti o ho ase nti o de asem ko appeals court. O say asem appeals court nti o say se sia de eni so bie the defense na e wo so okọ appeals court no ko tie the appeals court ne beka. Ansa na o ma ba be Chairman Wontumi defense. Eni nti na o mo MBA o mo defense no. Na sebio emra no kra kire say de asem to obi so na se sebio asem no o me kire ne ho ase a e wo say oman no ma nipa no emre na oman sama nipa no akade na oman ma nipa no sebio mrema otumi dada no ho ye de opeso ye akwaya boa afi won de omo ye they are frustrating the court. They are looking at the loopholes in the system. Anytime catcher say South Ghana ka say abandoning person prosecutor I also okwa okasemu ye because at this moment, you know, who is delaying the case? It is Chairman Wontumi. It is Apia Kubi because they know Chairman Wontumi is guilty. Because that case now, Judge Nika said, still, Chairman Wontumi be the defense, almost on Montias and Tomoko appeals court for interpretation. The question here is, so would it be you will still open your defense and prove to the court to say your client is not guilty. But because they can't open their defense, to say the attorney general can they are trying to hide behind your appeal into your appeal. At this point, are you going to blame the attorney general or you are going to blame the judicial system? You are blaming the judicial system because the criminals know the loopholes in our judicial system. Until they are taking advantage of it. Until Apia Kubi Chairman Wontumi lawyer now. Or say we are taking advantage. Because someone will say our judicial system is weak. Someone will say they can dilly-dally. They can lie their way out. And until right now they are saying they are not going to open their defense and that they are going to appeals court. Because Chairman Wontumi general also he's not guilty. Now, as a judge say he's insisting, Chairman Wontumi MBA the defense now Chairman Wontumi is not bold enough to open his case because your boldness in opening your case shows how you not guilty you are, because you can prove beyond reasonable doubt that you can punch holes into the attorney general statement and his witness statement. But because Apia Kubidi Chairman Wontumi, they know they cannot punch holes in attorney general's tight case. You know, they are now relying on using the appeals court to delay the case. It's in a normal day, Chairman Wontumi and using the appeals court as an excuse and concern them and concern convicted Chairman Wontumi because he has failed to open his defense twice. Why are we here? Are you going to blame the government? Are you going to blame the attorney general? You can't blame them because the attorney general has done his job. Now it's left with the court to make sure that a decision is made. Now, Chairman Wontumi and Apia Kubi are using the same court that is supposed to be fair in trials as we sit here. Entire then yetna man there obitina radio so TV so can say I have a problem with the attorney general. I'm not saying the attorney general is perfect. There are some things that Attorney General does that frustrates everybody. But when Attorney General does his job or their job, we need to also justify the reason why I need to say blame Womo. The criminals always find ways to go find ways to do what? Take advantage of the judicial system, our court processes. That is what you are seeing today. That is what you are seeing today. And remember, politicians, your court not check. And you see, and into the MPP, Kwasiebi or semi law school, Kwasiebi or semi lawyer. What they do is that they are not going to law to defend people. They are going to law school. They don't go to law school to go and defend anybody or make sure they do the right thing. They are going to law school to find loopholes in our judicial system or our court system to protect themselves as criminals. And that is what the MPP lawyers do. Into Ukas Ekufuado saw a lawyer. Ekufuado, one saw a lawyer. He said he was a lawyer because he wanted to be in that fraternity so that they can take advantage of the judicial system or the court system to defend their criminal acts. Into politicians, baby, going into law. They are not going to law to come and serve. They are going to law to go look for the loopholes to protect their criminal deeds. And Apia Kubi is also protecting another criminal politician. Until every day he will come and start to look for the loopholes and say, Yako appeals, this is not right. We don't understand this. But he knows the judgment is right before him. In Tinkawe fast track court and Wontumi and then say convicting, because if you don't open your defense, the judge has no option than to make sure he does what he writes his judgment. Why is he failing to write his come up with his defense? He does not have defense. The case the Attorney General presented is airtight. Right now, what they are doing is they are doing some machinations behind the scenes to see, say, they will get some people to change their mind. They are doing some things behind the scenes. This is when the money paying comes in. This is where the bribery, the corruption comes in. This is where they call, oh, Papa Kufuor, can you call this judge? This is where they say, oh, Papa Kufuor, over to the. This is what they are doing behind the scenes. This is where they use their so-called statesmen to convince judges, convince people in charge. This is when they use the money they have stolen to do what? To shift the cases. He's going to use the influence of some ex-presidents, some ex-statesmen, some statesmen. He's going to use the influence of some pastors. This is where he needs to use money to save himself. This is where they are. So, Apia Kubi is going to mark time. And every day he marks time, he tells Chairman Wontumi, bring more money. May try to convince this person. When person case is too sensitive. Kevin Taylor the judge and the credibility is on the line. She doesn't or he doesn't want to understand. The people who work with him, the second. So this is where the chess comes in. Chess no more bono. This is where the chess come in. The criminal chess, and this chess can go on for years. And you'll be sitting there and saying, I didn't mention, because this is where Asikana he's using it. And you see, Apia Kubi, this is where he needs to make his money. So I don't expect the judge to basically postpone this case on the 5th of April and May. This case needs to end. Such a amount to be on the 5th when being the defense. This case needs to end. And on the 5th of May, say judge way, and to me and the case way, and I want to me and be the defense. I'll come put the judge's picture up here. And we all need to question the judge. Because for about 2 times, Chairman Wontumi has failed to open his defense. Because from the judge's own judgment, he is very convinced that Chairman Wontumi needs to open his defense. Whatever happens in appeals court, the judge does not care. Chairman Wontumi, if he knows he's not guilty, he will open his defense, even if the case is at appeals court. Why is he using the appeals court as a distraction, as basically an obstacle to avoid opening his case? Court shoots down Boahen's attempt to disguise his private company's receipts as that of National Signals Bureau. Boahen and the court, Boahen kofa a year receipt to be by. And now the bachelor court say, oh, we are national security for National Signal Bureau for omu receipt ya troye. And I court said that beside receipt we a whole company receipt. Because also Boahen will be a company, no. Obi the company the same name at that National Signal Bureaus no. Obi the same company and the same name too so. And the Boahen tries to obey and say, or the a fake receipt. Now, person obey replace or the be replace the National Signal Bureau for receipt. No catch a court to say, so receipt to a media a National Signal Bureau for there, and a court is all boy channel, and a court cast a receipt no money. And remember, Boahen will go to appeals court on this judgment if there was a judgment on this. Sadly, Boahen's lawyers will go to appeals court and say they want explanation from appeals court. Adentina, judge not yakunyumuno, while rejecting receipt. That is what they do. It's the loopholes in the judicial system, the loopholes in the court system. That is our problem as a nation. And politicians know that. They have been stealing from us for a long time. They have studied the system. Hey, all the criminal cases in court now, almost one step, they will take 4 steps back. And it's not the fault of the Attorney General. It's not the fault of the state. It is because our judicial system is weak. Our court system is weak. It is because they know. It is know. All the criminal cases you are looking at, every day they take a step forward, they will take 4 steps back. All because they know the appeals court is there for them. Within a case, a judge will make a determination or a judge will rule on something. Everything the judge rules on, which is against them or not in their favor, they will go to appeals court. And imagine, talking about just receipts alone, onyanko, other things. So receipts alone, when the judge rules on 7 things, Boahen Dems will go to appeals court 7 times. Now, appeals court is not sitting there just with Boahen. There are other cases the appeals court is doing. So what is going to happen is now the case starts to stall. They start to wait, the case start to drag. Case and between these 6 months, then this guy can be in court for 3 years. Then you're going to blame the Attorney General. What has the Attorney General done? In the end, Boahen way at the receipt, a on the company receipt, ebe court to say, sa receipt na on the company receipt, National Signal Bureau for the and a judge said, I'll be receipt way. So you can see, they know what they are doing. And you see, this alone, they can say no, it is for a national security. No, it is this. Because then we are going to appeals court. And that's what they do. That is what they do. They are going to use the court against us, the people. They are going to waste our time in a court because all that the Attorney General can do is to present our case as a nation, present our evidence, present our witnesses, and say, these are my cases, these are my witnesses, this is what I have. It is up to them to defend themselves. They will not open defense. They will still go back to appeals court on every single evidence the Attorney General puts before the court, because that is their strategy of delaying cases. They have the money. So criminal politicians, the first year or 2, or sometimes the 3rd year, because they have money and their lawyers know so they go to appeals court easily. Because when there's a case in the high court, now judgment to be a case in appeals court, your lawyer will say yes, let's go, because the lawyer is being paid by the hour. He's being paid. The more you delay the cases, the lawyer makes more money. So no lawyer will tell you not to go to appeals court. Now remember, going to appeals court is a lot of money. Now you are going to file, you are going to pay the lawyer his time, basically his firm, how many hours they spend on the appeals court case, just for the appeal, Because you have money, the lawyer too will just basically tell you, let's go to appeals court. Now they start to get wise after a year or 2 or 3, when they get to know that the appeals decisions, appeals court, any lawyer, almost can start to say that you say they stop to go to appeals court. So, you see 3 lawyers, about have 2 lawyers. Or you see 2 lawyers, about have 1 lawyer, because now they are depleting their resources. They are depleting the money. And it's a what's the criminal cases, after 2.5 years, now you could see, the accused, they don't go to appeals court again. The accused, their lawyers drop. A3 anaka 2, A2 anaka 1. The appeals, almost have a form, then they are facing the case because the money na go na from the beginning. Because Obi say give to worry, Obi to appeals court for 2 years. Yes. Obi to say about Wontumi, Obi to appeals court for 2 years to 2.5 years. Saga we sika Obi to me appeals court for 2-3 years. All because there's money. And the more money you have, the more you can slow down a case, the more you can frustrate the court. These people, in this first year, second year, it's not going to be easy for the Attorney General. No. They have the money. They have the money to stall the case. They have the money to slow the case down. They have the money to go to appeals. Because so you see 3 lawyers, or appeals court, he will pay all the 3 lawyers. Or baby appeals, he has money. Sikari started say sampe no ate lawyer no baako so na aka 2 afi o ha no ate lawyer no so how about now on you interested in appeals court to be. Then it starts the interjection. I am sick. I want medical leave. My client is not doing well. On appeals court too. Both are and a lawyer and I start to catch a judge. My client cannot come today because he's not well. He has a doctor's report because now he has to use doctor's report, fake reports, not to come to court. He cannot go back to appeals court because it is money. Into Omono, after 2.5 years, that is when they get to know their money is being depleted. A hono musa lawyers need dio musika. A hono start to use it health their excuses to drag cases. So they have a strategy. In time Chebia, about the chairman Wontumi so beka so yare. Yes. And Chebia give to our beka so yare. And Chebia about say edu Boahen so beka so yare. Now they will not go to appeals court again because Oma is exhausted. The moment you want to go to appeals court, is money. Now, Ocheki Sika or send na Sikanesa into right now, lawyer, write a letter and tell the court that I am going to London for a medical checkup. Tell the court that I am sick, I am not doing well. And we have seen this game play over and over. And that's how it works. Now you are understanding political prosecution. And they know it, and that is what they do. These are things they do to frustrate government, to frustrate the court. Imagine, remember, court this will break, so the court breaks. Sometimes they go on about 4-month break. Sometimes judges sitting on case, they have to attend to medical issues. Sometimes some miscellaneous things happen. So you need to understand. That is why we need a fast track court. Their job is to make sure a case in delay because the judge be about slower. There's another judge to replace you in 24 hours to take over the case. Anything I may say, the Chief Justice should embrace AI. We should also allow the tools to help us in our court. We should use the system well. We should make sure, say, judges are on time. We are getting enough judges to sit on cases quickly. Because the idea of one judge sitting on 10 cases, and why you need to get enough judges in there. You need to make sure the judges are given assignments, little assignments. One judge, 2 cases, make sure within 2 months you are finished. But ultimately, one judge, 7 cases, not medical leave, not 7 cases to work. We need to try and find a way to ease the system. The system is choked. The way we have set it up is not helping us. And Monsha Assembia is Ghana a yet dangerous being sida. Godfrey Dame. Godfrey Dame Wontumi Sorano pa na or shopping for judges. Wontumi shopping for judges. Wontumi Sorano a list of judges. Also we Godfrey Dame no ya Attorney General. And the Godfrey Dame catcher say judges risk denting judicial independence. Godfrey Dame was a former Attorney General who was caught on tape. Godfrey Dame yetchin wo tape so na wako Supreme Court judge ho or catcher say sebio obi nkodi atron to obi so na onjeli ni Godfrey Dame Ghana na yejimi anka o obi ti say Iran anka hange no Godfrey Dame ewurade and the Godfrey Dame catcher say and judges no omo nyom adwuma ye enye say omo say the judicial independence no omo ngasa ndi omo ye adwuma omo ye nso Godfrey Dame Ghana ni yejimi ekuro anka Godfrey Dame ko jail Godfrey Dame everything about judges lawyers will boom rabiaso ekuro anka be gene law certificate de free nsem. This is a disgusting human being. Mesenko Irana anka de be sane ahoma so ne aka chen so oma ne nan mienu nyina nsi fom ba ko besi ba ko nsi wenko wudadada anka ma hange no wait. But today, because of the so-called democracy we enjoy in Ghana, kwase bia dia eboni wi na asa kwatena sidelines no kan kwase asem na oto ayampia Godfrey Dame me say anka Iran or wa anka be hange no na anka America so on force for the 9 million see from the same time Courtroom nye anka dia homa be so no kon Iran no kopie ya. This is a criminal guy. This is a corrupt Attorney General. Me say anka Iran no kopie ya anka dia homa be so no kon ne da so dua so nya kan say on force na 9 million see from at the same time ontumi nye. But you see, we sit in Ghana and every foolish person commits crimes, fool around. We caught this guy on tape. An accused person. He negotiating with an accused person. So Obinko Chantro, this idiot. Because I'm paying you down and I'm Ghana for catch MPP for say Godfrey Dame a lawyer. Ye Jimmy Ntra. This guy, when he was an attorney general, from what we saw, the 5 days of Godfrey Dame, I attending cow tape puswa or ne accused person and negotiating to convince going to Supreme Court judge's house. No, a Krobia so anka case be a Godfrey Dame handle biano in Quebec. This guy illegally found ways to prosecute people illegally based on what we heard on tape. Kwasi he has jailed people for no reason. There were people, Godfrey Dame, as the prosecutor, jailed na a personal, omundi bonibia, per what we heard on the tape. Kwasi Awe in Ghana, me see, anka owo Irana, anka the Humabe so kon, near the number form say, unfortunately, 9 million form at the same time, all to me. Kwasi Asam yet Ghana, ya so some Kwasi Asam so, because democracy is not good for the black man. Akwa we nya kukuduro ka che say and the court no ne nye no mu gom hu ni ma say Godfrey Dame. This is a guy who snitched on Gloria Kufu. Saa me Kufu ado pamo Gloria Kufu resign here because he wanted to just jail people he doesn't like. Me see ye niminyansa na nkekro ya papa anka case bia Godfrey Dame ya attorney general every time MPP lose power nke betwa case nya obi ejeli bia nke be fie. This guy goes around shopping for judges. He shops for judges. We are madam for we mbeso yejuma we mame. This guy Kufu sent me to make you do this. Godfrey Dame. Issues about a year light air court nearby President Akasa and the ECG so Akasa. Now, government to install 3,000 transformers to tackle power outages. And very interesting, won't say a year in Kenya, it is because the government has brought in new transformers. Abanwe ade atuna kuma to say opesa transformers bebre Ghana asaya infasweni swa ama yen Kenya sem no eye basa. In fact, all transformers no consuming more. In fact, your capacity as a nation no be 30% there. Transformers na eye dada no na ewi ni nyina. Inti generational na power na generating no because majority of transformers or Ghana no asay na juma it is a car dada engine dada dem. It takes a lot of fuel and na didi mo abedru ha ma and the kania ni bi kura no ko area bi no na a low current and say kania ye kan entumi fa anya hwe. Now this government what it is doing and say it decided say transformers are dada a system ni mu a se bi entumi serve communities krampo no transformers ni bi wo ha for ebia a dime by 700 and the communities in their communities are not first 700 houses and 3,000 to 4,000 houses. Into this government about power no and the minister energy minister John Jinapo and the president in the cabinet now say we need to do some serious overhauling reinstalling of the better transformers ebema yenkania no ejina so. And the menoka say a buying install close to over 3,000 transformers the tackle low current and power fluctuations na Ghana no. And when the president went to the northern region, we saw clearly netco power controllers almost world north no. President ko inspected transformers dia ba egua and the extreme no change transformers be make sure say kan ya begina. So it is not just Accra. The country na your team no Ghana nyina no aban we na adwene say bebia transformers wa sebio transformers na dada no. The government is ready and willing to change all these transformers to help our power generation because transformers dada na say no a system no and obetine say eja to we mu ha eja to transformer we mu it is because capacity na efa no ano edin intende no aban no de transformers apapa esoso a emu edu a etumi take a lot of communities nipa dodo a ebetuma form a abra ejantom ama yen kania no sebio embo de ni prepare into which president eko srem no we saw the president inspect transformers Ghana Electricity Company through the Ministry of Energy and the communities be transformers and you saw it on TV the last time. This is the president being briefed by the energy minister John Jinapo on the transformers. A lot of communities. This government you voted for no about to solve your problems, and it is tackling the problems slowly, and not making sure say they don't skip any problem. Into which the energy sector now led by John Jinapona they are taking their time to make sure say Ghana had there every single part of Ghana here new transformers communities be almost transformer almost problems about way after to say they are changing all transformers. So you see the president when he was in the northern region over the weekend, he went to visit the site almost the new transformers when you know NDC are buying as we speak, this government is going to install new transformers here in Kenya, and we are going to use less electricity because when you have better performing transformers, transformers and consume too much and fast stress and the national grid. So it means that it's our talk for a basana petrol do water na so if we say engineer mono bibia ye adwuma ye eno na entina ma aban we na adwene say eba transformer electricity transformers na de dodo no beba na yen kan asem no sebio so hanipano abafom on say man no complain bebre ye kan any dundumo ye omo transformers no say won tibium, and that is why aban we I insist to say munyina munya abotre have the patience. This government is gradually changing our energy sector. And the Oba Ashanti region, Kumasi, Abangwe Ashabo, I started from the southern sector, changing transformers. It's when the president was in the northern region, we could see, said these are new transformers. They are going to change transformers in the north. If you are almost say northern region transformers now. Some part of the country to also start changing. Inti Obienwa fall short when it comes to transformer distribution in Ghana. Now, say this is when the president visited, and this is what transpired between the president, the Minister of Energy.
Excellency, these are the transformers. The Ministry of Energy, Government of Ghana is supporting the NEDCO electricity distribution companies to be able to inject to relieve overloaded trafos, to provide relief so that we also improve the voltage qualities. We've observed in recent times that demand has caught up sometimes in the distribution side, not in generation, actually with supply. So this is an immediate intervention. In the next couple of weeks, we deploy them all over NEDCO operational areas, just as we are doing for ECG in the south. The total number, we are doing about nearly 500. We have issued 100, but ahead of the 100 that we just issued, some of which are on the trucks. There are these trucks yet to be offloaded, and some trucks outside. These are the ones that preceded them. And these have already been scheduled to go to Bolga, Sunyani, Techiman, Wa, and then other areas.
Bole.
And Bole, obviously, yes, sir. Yes, His Excellency. Yes, sir. So. Yes, Your Excellency.
That has been having problems.
Yes, sir.
To Bole.
Yes, to Bole Township. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So interventions for power transformers. His Excellency, what's behind you is a power transformer.
These are distribution.
These are distribution.
The ones you hang on there.
Yes, pole-mounted distribution transformers, and then the power transformers are what go to the substations. Okay. We are also relieving loads at substation. Demand is catching up again. So internally, we have Adubili bulk supply point where NEDCO drops power at higher capacities. Then we have NEDCO's primary substation from Adubili, Damashegu, and other areas, including the one just behind us, to distribute power fairly so that it can boost economic activities. So,
guys, the government is working, the president is working for you. There's a government that is tackling very important or vital problems of Ghanaians. Abana yakoto in 2024, no? Yankoto abakeke yakoto abase aban bi beba ebenya abotre na ahwe ye problems de ehia pa on say o might be a problem wom, but it takes only intelligent leaders to notice or recognize very important problems. And when it comes to energy, a country that is growing so fast as Ghana, our population now jumping to about 35 million. You don't underestimate such a growing population. And then this government strategically, who say, your transformers do say. There was a government that came a few years ago, MPP Abaya. All that they were doing was they were sitting in Accra and talking nonsense. We saw the consistent inconsistency in the supply of energy across nation under MPP. But then you can see, say, work is ongoing. You hear people complaining, because things are being done. This is not an idle government. This is not an idle president. This is a president who wants to see work done, and he travels all around the place to see, say, Jumane Koso. He does not care to get his shoes dirty. This is a man, I already say, before his term ends, in the next 8 or 12 years, every single part of Ghana, bebia, ebobia or share Ghana for sa ebono with this. That is why you are seeing the president on the ground. And I know the northern region is one part of Ghana. John Dramani Mahama edena kuma su yepa, because for some time a man for be creating impression be say northerners obunya political appointment ebi kura be president they did not do enough for the northern region, and John Mahama has sworn to Ninyankopon any Ghana for say when it comes to the northern region, he's going to use his term as president to change the north, bring economic activities, a lot of it, change the economy and make it better. It is what study John Mahama slim the Nakuma Super, and he wants to make sure say as far as he's in government, as far as he's in leadership, sa hope na srimufo enya wonmu omoto abamano. Even though sebio onye nkremoni, but srimufo sebio omo hu say dia wa adwumu ene hia na nya osoma wosomo edi to me man no, he is going to make sure say obeye adwuma no to make them feel say sebio omo hu nipa omo ba omo nana obi a odo omo no de tumi ahye nsem. So John Mahama is strategically making sure say that promise or promises before any Ghana for nyina no saka. This is not a man who is just sitting there and just watching from Accra. He is going there himself, asking questions and making sure the right thing is done. What is our transformers also boli for your he's making sure that every part of the north because for the past 8 years the northern region was neglected. John Dramani Mahama now buying a status sada ananka ebe bie srim ama yenuanum srim fo mo srim mo pese nkomo nyan in confirm ana aban pese so masene na nkomo pese emanfo eko into tree planting na nka aban eso masene no create adwuma fam no John Mahama etna abema ofiri mu no ena Mahamudu eba ya omo beton de sada tricycles over 400 omo ton nyina die omo wieye ena omo ka kire Ghana for say sada no almost sadi no ayen NDA almost sadi na ba omia nua ba beto ano no mudi sika no mudi nkwasesam kireye e no wie no mkosi hostel e won kran say sremufo nkwara ni free wale no medan kran no nso aso anwoma. That is the stupidity of a northerner who is not smart to lead the people. But John Mahama still believes say the nod that he has been given, he can still change the lives of the young person in the northern region. So he's bringing jobs, he's making lives easy, he's trying to make sure that the fundamentals, basic things that makes a community grow, he's getting them done. And if I say basic things, we are talking about water. Water is one of the most important things as Srim. What's Sanka MPP are buying after 8 years? Nanke this year is your problem because Baumia was basically the president. But Mahmoud Baumia said, or the 33 policies by Ebe support Abozege, and so Baumia never thought of drinking water, clean drinking water for the people of the north. John Mahama is in power, and when he went there over the weekend, he spoke about water. And Mumienko Tiedo Kafa Srim Insuon. This is the president of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama.
When we came, we met, Parliament had approved a 277 million euro facility for Tamale water and Damango water. Wait, listen to me first. Unfortunately, because the past government defaulted in the debt payments, we declared that we couldn't pay our debts. If you can't pay your debt, do they give you a new loan? So the EU drew back the loan, and they said they are waiting for the debt restructuring to happen and all that. We don't see any sign on the wall that it will come soon. So I've directed the Minister of Finance that we will find our own 277 million euro in cedis, and we will do the water system ourselves. So I want to assure the people of Tamale, I'm a citizen of Tamale. If I don't do this water, nobody will come and do it.
President Mahama Ekasan was saying, "Mabasrim, me yesrim ni ami free Tamale. Obianim sem yesrim ni mi di mokodi nchene. Sebio dawadawan kwan medi bida. Sebio mi fearful yesrimufo I am proud of. I say aba aban mu no. Na you say Parliament a passing Rebi say MPP aban so mo kwaje besia 277 million euros. Eddie Ababe Yensu or Tamale and Damango area. So Mako Damango Dam. I drove through there to a Bole Park, Bole Mole Park, right? Yeah. Now, John Mahama said, Omoba no, Edo Moon says 277 million euros no. A year a car of Furiata, Bawomiamo, a Bogu Ghana sono, a Mabrofono, a Caselo no crampo the Wontumi farmer if you say, yet the Omocado. Na na yem penny for no mudi enim 2017 to 2024 mo yankwase afonti e ma abrofo ka se da bi sa sika de tu fam because ekufo do numa bai ne to so abai ba omi numa bai na ne to abai e na MPP for no e ya kromfo e de sa sika no mo nya de ma edwuma no enti sebio e ya abrofo na nka so ma 277 million euros a na ba omi ya vice president a o sa nko champion ne ensaka sika no ba omi ka kire sirifo se sebio one de ne yiri e fulani sebio one de ne yiri e betuma fa plane akọ India ene eye de kunkumba jafo wakopai ni turuma kodi nkwasasebo nti wanwiri siremufo ho enti sebio sa eye 277 million euros ananka o se de koye nsuo matamale environs area ho nyina ene damango area no sa sika ni nyina abrofo no se omompene efri se ba omia nim nyansa o de betua sa eka ne back na John Mahama bai no o se o hye eye den o hye eye siremufo bo o se me John Mahama moba sirem se jata se manya nsuo wo ya ma omudu ne nkwasi afo yi omuntumi nye MPP for mu nyansa edi yensuo MPP for mu nyansa edi yempuntudwuma enti o hye sremfo bo o se maka kire eye finance minister eye miankasa me kromni atofo sen say sa 277 million euros no onkope eye 277 million euros in cedis sa sika ne yempe no Ghana ha na o hye eye sremfo bo say onu srem stage ata John Dramani Mahama no obeye insuo na matamalefo ene damango ni area ho nyina ma obi anyansupa anom every say obaye na obeja asada ho no baomia ene ne nkofo no bese no omontuma anya bibia ende wasaba insuo no obeye na eye sremufo enya insuo anom we ni president Mahama asama ene ebo a wahye eye de sremufo a ende wa instruct eye finance minister say onko pesika no pesika no Ghana 277 million euros in cedis no pesa sika no na onkyere se oyesremuni mapa na sebio onye sremuni kwase a onye akamfo nam a ontumi ndwini ne nuanom ho ontumi ndwini ne krom ontumi ndwini impuntuo so de baba ne fie na one de oyesremuni a sebio na adwini wo fie nti odwini efie impuntuo ho kwato platform na kwaka de wo ho because meme de na meka. So this is what we are looking at. The president has basically promised the people of the north to say he will do everything possible, even though Sikani Niwono, he will do everything possible to get the money. He has instructed the finance minister to crack his brain and raise that amount of money. Even by the time John Mahama be free power in maybe 8 years or 12 years, now say at least the people of the north will see say there's been serious consideration and work done on making sure and I believe John Mahama obey answer at the time. So we should all protect, believe in the president, support this government because Abanwe is touching every single part of the nation. Now, the president is still in the north, and we are still in the north. President Mahama Edru Srimuno, something very interesting happened, and President Mahama inspected Okobie a year Adia Yefreno Mahama Cares supervises restoration of catheterization laboratory at National Cardiothoracic Center. Ubet my friend say a year Catholic Center. Now, Omuko Srimno John Mahama ode a year Adia Yefreno a year Mahama Cares no eba in fact a year fanda yadia to wa Sebiu yare kran krubi ebeto so na se Sebiu unye sika e krum ha ena o se sa yare na sa eye fund no ebe den ebe ma usika ne da sa kwankro yare no. Now Mahama eko eye srem no osako bie center ehwe eye bibi efre no eye akoma yare sene moja efu sane wo wakumem eye wahrawa ene sene moja ene enfrema ekom ye fre no cat center. Now, brofone wa your friend a catheterization laboratory into Boahen. Sebia moja efana kuma ho efana kumem na hrawem ediko di tim ne ba no Boahen na problem ho kakra ende Mahama akobie saa adwuma no bi ano ewo srem a omudi hu dwuma dendenden a eye omo wo srem nyina no ebenya ho mfaso eye Mahama Cares Foundation no eno enene aban eka omutiribo mu a omode saa project we eye den ede eba srem John Mahama eko ho inspect dwuma dia eye obobie danko a oye the CEO of Mahama Cares no AD and they are working so hard. Mahama Cares Foundation and it is saving lives and it will continue saving lives. Remember, primary health care no so whole. And your national health insurance woho, and your Mahama Cares woho, and the Mahama Cares no AC the cat centers around the nation. This is what we call the government omunimunyansa. Let's go see what happened when the president basically went to the north. Cat center no you see any.
We want to give you the good news. That I'm sure the last time when we came, we spoke about the cat labs that are on its way already. And today we are here to confirm that indeed the cat labs are coming.
If you are not medically inclined or have not lost a loved one due to the unavailability of a cardiac catheterization laboratory, you may wonder why this announcement has been met with such a thunderous applause. But for doctors at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, and indeed for everyone in Northern Ghana, this is a truly historic and joyous moment.
Normally I smile, but in unusual days like this, I smile more. Because this is what we live for, honestly, to see something like
So before I play this video, no, where this video is when the people of the north were promised this a year center in 2025. Maybe I'm about 2026. How far South Center now abandoned promises him for? Remember, South facility we cat center we know and a cat center we know. Omo esino a year Tamale Teaching Hospital. Now video now here is an 2025 time a year Mahama Cares no led by Obobia Dako the CEO and the president Omko Shesrim Fobo say they are going to build this center in the northern region. And Mama Ghana and Libya end out to almost say this a year Mahama Cares no, they will be able to build a year facility way. Now, sa facility we know from 2025 video na me time I'm say it's a very important facility. I also see them they attach it a year Tamale Teaching Hospital. We are about 2026 so far where they have gotten to progress of work after 1 year. So this is 2025. Time almost share a year sim for boss say NDC are buying a BBC sa center way.
And he's bringing it. And I dare say that if His Excellency the President was not in the picture, we probably will be talking about a cat lab after a full-blown century.
A cardiac catheterization laboratory, commonly known as a cath lab, is a highly specialized hospital unit equipped with advanced imaging technologies such as X-ray and precision tools that allow doctors to diagnose and treat heart and blood vessel conditions without open surgery. These include blocked arteries, irregular heart rhythms, valve disorders, and even life-threatening heart attacks. For years, the absence of a cath lab in any of the 5 regions of Northern Ghana has cost many lives. Patients often had to endure long, risky referrals to the south, or worse, never made it in time.
This presence of a cath lab will revolutionize cardiovascular care in this part of the country, okay? One of the obvious ones is the management of heart attacks, which involves blood clots blocking blood vessels to the hearts. Okay, so the cath lab will be extremely useful for them. We have a lot of patients with heart attacks on our ward. Okay, most of them we are forced to treat them medically, which is not optimal. Okay, so the presence of a cath lab will help us to really treat these people to the standard that we want.
That reality is now set to change. The Ghana Medical Trust Fund, in partnership with the Ministry of Health, is constructing 3 cath labs in Kumasi, Tamale, and the Greater Accra region. For Tamale, this development is nothing short of monumental.
having it in Tamale and also the 5 northern regions, we are close. So it makes life much easier and brings that closer to the people than ever before.
If you have a hospital that has existed for more than half a century and you have never come across anybody dreaming and talking about a cath lab for it, and suddenly there's somebody not dreaming bringing it, it can only be described as unprecedented.
Healthcare is coming closer to the people. Ordinarily, if you need a cath lab, you have to come all the way from Tamale to Kolebu. You might or might not get that treatment you're looking for. You might not even get there. Something would have happened. Some of them needed to fly there. So His Excellency the President is saying that, listen, that drama is over.
This is the floor plan of the cath lab that we're going to bring to Tamale. Let me start by saying that we started from a paltry 500 square meters, and now we are 1,500 square meters. Yes, so, and it's actually a story building now.
Hospital management wasted no time. Immediately after the announcement, they led the team to nearly an acre of land already earmarked for the project. The goal is clear: have the facility completed and operational by the end of the first quarter of this year as promised.
The fact that this project of the cath lab is coming within a very short time, I think the time space is what's very striking to me, because I mean, I was thinking, oh, by close of the year we should have the cath lab, but now it's up to March. We're expecting to start the lab to start working. And so
video here 2025 and John Mahama through Mahama Cares, no, Omni Ministry of Health, say the three northern regions, no, Mahama promises obesity cath lab abomo. Tenebeya omo problem with omakuma. Senia mojan film yenya akuma yare bebre kunipa obesi amasremfo. And then 2026. Remember, it's less than a year. I mention John Mahama Echo Stream Enrich, you know. Wako site war. In fact, wako inspect a jumano. Se echo so na sen so. Let's come near and share the 2026. Sa ebona John Mahama share yenuanum simfo the northern region about their heart and home problems are opese or they are buying we as solve. Remember, sa sika we nyina internally generated, and the funds, no, most of it is coming from Mahama Kesa, footwear, what's here. Sibu or person the Cebu Ghana for 2026 Mahama ba and the Yanshe the AC say Jumadi no mu diampana.
This one is an intervention that helps the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, especially because of the cancers that we want to start with. Most of the cancer patients will be their patients, and thank God that it's not just about the cath lab equipment, but now we are escalating it to a pharmacy in there, an ICU, consulting rooms, there's a hybrid theater, and then the nurses will have their own stations and everything. So it becomes a one-stop shop that the moment that you finish the procedure, you have even wards that you can stay for your recovery. Ordinarily, if it was just a cath lab, they will have to move you to the main hospital. But now that will not happen again because of the extension that we intend to add to it. So it becomes a full cardiology center. When you enter, by the time you are done and walking out, you are going straight home, and you don't need to go and continue your treatment in the main facility. So I think that we want to say thank you to you. This one is a game changer so far as the northern region is concerned, and because of where it is situated, all the surrounding communities and constituencies, and even I'm sure that we'll get some medical tourism so far as this facility is concerned. So thank you very much. He says sponsored by the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. Thank you very thank you very much.
So the facility, my overview of the facility, and then John Mahama Echo Hono Omuchechimuno. In fact, almost starting a Jumano a year February 2026, and they are expected to finish August 2026. And so far, the structure has been put up. President Courtroom, you saw a year the structure there. We will bring you pictures so far. But it's so interesting. Say, not Dr. Bako Kasa. Or say, hospital AD almost 100 years. In fact, or say, Uncle Mana or charitable. 50 years. President Tibiamba Simunka say, let's build a cath lab next to a Tamale Teaching Hospital. There is a president who does not boast to say he's a lawyer. There's not a president who does not boast to say media into politics. So there's not a guy who's all over the place using jargon. This is a guy who is being Ghanaian and being rational and intelligent. There's not a president who is saying, I went to learn economics, but today I am a digitalized man. No, this is a man who is being rational and intelligent, looking at problems that people need solutions to. As we speak, SAR project way by August. Now we are now free stream eba Sebio Ashanti region eba Greater Accra looking for labs because of Akumayari NT. All those things will stop. Now we can save lives and not just anywhere. This facility is within the Tamale teaching hospital. That means say wakuma ayarisa. The issue is you are still at the hospital. Even within the hospital, you can transfer free cath lab and ward. That is a place that everything is there. Into your treaty this is what we call abaya homogeny, aban papa ne binie. Enti kwase bi TV so ka say ena jo mahama ban ba no omo beka de omo ya ye beje wo nkwa ye beje wo maame nkwa kwasea. And Nigerian Ghana for say don't listen to the MPP omo jimi, they don't understand governance. Omo t-shirt gele emu konko ene nkwasea yampia nanim omo nim bibia omo jimi omo nim mama chichire omo nim mama chichire de omo ya ne say kwasea bi ko school kodwitwi mponko se ewo Holland e oba so a doctor jimi ni bi ko nanam US na ko ye dwuma of CVS a oba so a doctor e ko ye MP omo jimi. They cannot think. They don't understand what development is. They don't understand what governance is. And this is governance. Now, when you look at the overview, this is what it's actually going to be like. Mamifa picture in show na huni ye. Na kwasi ebi kuka baby say, hey, na John Mahama nyeshi wa Ghana. John Mahama is building this nation. Now, construction and installation of cath lab systems at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Project overview: construction and installation of a modern cath lab and cardiology center to improve specialist heart care. It's basically it is going to help omo problem with omakumani. They are going to improve it. A specialist for the beye juma ha omeshe wakuma yare ni ade sene beye nkase faka akọ ekurobiso any ade. 2. Implementation. The project is being led by the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, that's Mahama Cares, and Ministry of Health. The contractor is ADB Ghana Medical Systems Group in partnership with Siemens Germany. It's a company now is German company being a partner another company called ADB Ghana Medical Systems. So they companies they are well known, they have the track record, they are the ones building these facilities, because we hear companies are more track record now and how the facility can be a very sustainable facility and yes say so these are Nyoma also about what the NDC government is doing in the northern region. And remember, this Akuma hospital yesibi osrim yebesibi asantimemu ni yesibi ewon kramemu. So it's not just the northern region. They are going to make sure they spread it across the nation. Now, we are talking about a facility. It is integrated Cardiology Center for Diagnosis, Treatment, Recovery, and Medical Training. It is our facility. We know one. Omobaye bibia your friend diagnosis. Oboko nia assess so nia she oh ya ready be. O ya ne druha. They say also your surgery and your friend diagnosis. Omba share o system no nyine hu say wakuma no problem. Wa hira wa no emoja na eboko no esane no ejina ho anase esisisi etwetwa si. Enitina ma sebe unya akuma yare no. Omo wi a omo ye bibia your friend no the treatment. And also no omu say ya ready be wo ho wakuma e wo hirawa no omoja na esane wo wakuma mu ene wintini mu no enkoyi a ombetuma age wato no mo treatu na omo treatu wi a na omo make sure say wada ho ema ho ato recovery na omo make sure say wakuma na gina bibia ye ansa na yeyu sa place na omo besi no eye cath lab no e besa ye training center ama eye nurse for doctors a omo peso omo besua eye cardiology sa akuma yare ho sensem no omo beko ho so akwede akosua abaye eye the expert in those kind of things. And not just a facility, it's a training facility by some grooming young nurses, young doctors, people who want to specialize in this cardiology part when it comes to the medical part. No, sanko for we abandon a critique opportunity. Now the timelines, almost from February 2026. By August 2026, August na juma die we oma peja esiwo ama sebio astati juma approach fast track delivery combining construction, equipment installation, and staff training. Inti ni nyina shem 6 months from February to August no mo si eyomu se free ho na John Dramani Mahama aba ho abede aba abetwa ahumem. Equipment here advanced and geography system delivery June 2026, installation and commissioning 16th of August 2026. In terms of by the 16th of August now Oma commissions our project with Mahama Beko related projects Konfanoche training hospital teaching hospital new cath lab facility underway Kolebu teaching hospital existing cath lab under refurbishment into Kolebu ebi wo hodada but omo refurbishment no omo ye amane gina na so eye konfa no chene so no omo kwa akoye bi e wo ho obi ka say oh na any of Volta region it has been situated strategically obi of Volta region or kwa Accra easy it is not tedious inti so wo hwe sika ekom ene aban very strategic about it say your center ni bi Kolebu na solid adwuma ye traveling from the Volta region to the Greater Accra region for such services no I don't think it's crazy and say obi air travel every stream aba Kumasi anything akosi bi so stream say na be the northern sector no almost be nyom de na oba the southern sector na and say oba Ashanti region area ho no the middle belt for no ebudu Ashanti almost be nya the Konfanoche no na ye near the other side from Greater Accra to the Volta region side and so no you can go to Kolebu. So the government is being strategic how to spend and how to basically save lives. When in your man, I was a Ghana near Otinado Busa was I didn't yama MPP to me because I'm with Jimmy. I'm no I'm gonna Mick Mill eba Jubilee House and a Jankuma Benum we go some bedroom cocaine and almost say a year or minor. Now the Danko for the bush for bedin kwasiasem omutimi order pizza every UK and no past 7 Embo area 2 or Ghana na pizza no ye the plane the aba. That is what they came to do in Jubilee House. This is what we are talking about. The biggest punishment between the Amway this limited liability company for the MPP. No, we are not supposed to let them come close to power.
You know it, I know it. They've been in existence for a long time and have been changing their names up till this day. The nature of who they are. Listen. Munjir, the nature of who they are, what they are, where they've come from, is something they are happy with, and they will be there for a long time. Let's not mimic their behavior. Let us reach into the principles and the values that emerged out of the circumstances that gave birth to us. And if we can hold onto those principles and those values, we will move way into the future and no one can ever defeat us. We will ride and override any obstacle, as we did in the past. The NPP cannot be underestimated. You know it, I know it. They've been in existence for a long time and have been changing their names up till this day. The nature of who they are. Listen. Munjir, the nature of who they are, what they are, where they've come from, is something they are happy with, and they will be there for a long time. Let's not mimic their behavior. Let us reach into the principles and the values that emerged out of the circumstances that gave birth to us. And if we can hold onto those principles and those values, we will move way into the future and no one can ever defeat us. We will ride and override any obstacle, as we did in the past.
We will ride and override any obstacle as we did in the past. J.J. Rawlings said this, and we have to always remember the words of Jerry John Rawlings.
The NPP cannot be underestimated. You know it, I know it. You know it, I know it. The NPP cannot be underestimated. You know it, I know it.